you had said that at the end of the life, they figure out that just I'm leaving the planet. Just be happy now. How did that happen for you with me? Because I'd kind of like something practical for people that are listeners. How did that happen for you? Because you had knowledge of it, you had awareness, you had observation, and that's where you wanted to go. And you came with me, and we got practical for 2 sessions now, 14 weeks each. If you can, what were kind of the things you did with what I gave you and the coaching to make that happen for you?
I think one thing is the foundation is self-worth,
Mm.
really working on self-love, self-worth. That was my focus for actually both rounds of TCP. I focused on self-love, but I think self-love and self-worth is foundational. And it was something that was severely lacking for me.
Mm.
Um, and so that was, started with really that. But I remember the day that it clicked for me where things started to open in TCP, and it was the week on choice.
Yeah.
And I was in clinic, and
Which, by the way, did I lead that week? I normally, this next TCP, I'm leading all the weeks. And that's really a week that I love to, or did somebody else lead that?
I can't remember. I
Okay, I
can't.
normally lead. It's one of my favorite weeks because you hear me say, so many people say, well, that is a choice. What I say is life
Life is
is
choice.
choice because your entire life from second to second is choice. And whatever choice you make creates an outcome. Okay, let's go back to you. This is juicy. So that was the
Yeah.
week that it clicked. Take us
Yeah.
into
So I was in clinic, and I will say that medicine has um, victim mentality
it. Hmm.
everywhere. We keep our patients in victimhood. We are in victimhood as physicians, the staff, feeling really out of control
Hang on,
with,
Katie, please. I have to interrupt here. So people understanding, we all understand, when you say medicine keeps people in victim mentality, what is your definition and how are you defining victim mentality? So everyone listening will be able to get their teeth into that.
yeah. So I think of it as people not having sovereignty over their
Yeah.
lives and ability to make choices, that they're trapped in this situation. Like for our patients, they're trapped in their illness and this is happening to them. And
Hmm.
with physicians, people who are burnt out working in medicine, it's like you feel like you're being just piled on, and there's more work than you can do, and really you have no control over it, and
Okay.
feeling just stuck, in kind of like a victim, in that scenario. Does that?
Now let's add here though, also, you see this every day and you know that I have a lot of, well, you've seen several, they're all Harvard people and et cetera, and some, and not everybody in TCP is Harvard, obviously, but you see a lot of people in that profession that are doctors that are trapped in their own profession because they
Mhm.
become victims of, okay, which I did a podcast recently on money, making money your master. So they go to medical school, they have all these bills, they go in their profession, which is not a healing profession, it's a business. Then they get in it, and they buy the houses and the cars and the kids in school. And then what happens? They're trapped in their life, and then they don't like their life and they can't get out of it, and they become victims to, well, this is the way my life is set up and organized, and even though I hate going to the hospital every day, I have to do it. So I just wanted to share that as an afterthought for people listening, that your industry is full of people who live from victim mentality. And victim mentality, as I share with you guys in TCP and here, is it's not my fault. I didn't cause this. I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do about this. It just is the way that it is, and I will deal with it and accept it. And it doesn't mean not accepting, but it means literally just blindly taking things from people and not recognizing, as you said, Katie, I have power. I am power. I can choose. And then you pick up from there. That was a big week. Choice. I can choose.
Yeah. So I was in clinic that day after we had the homework on choice. And I think we had responsibility before choice. And so I had that
Yeah.
concept in my head as well. And I was in clinic, I was like triple booked. It was crazy day. I was just running from one place to the next. And I remember I was back at the CT scanner, and I somehow, a result for one of my patients had popped up, and I saw that she had widely spread metastatic disease that was new. And the patient was here, actually, she was having a scan for something else. But I knew that if she left, the other doctor who ordered the scan was going to call her on the phone and just like do a drive by, hey, you've got widely metastatic disease. And even though I had no time in my schedule, I stopped and I was like, okay, number one, I've chosen this career. I'm responsible for the position that I'm in right now, and I get to choose how I show up, even though it it feels out of control and like you don't have control of your schedule. So I was like, I told my nurse, I said, I want you to put her in a room. And I was like running between patients, and I had a patient who was like a gynecologic cancer where I knew I was going to have her get undressed to do an exam. So I said, you put her in a room. When I have 5 minutes while that patient's getting undressed, I'm going to go in and I'm going to sit face to face and I'm going to tell her the news myself. And it was like, I'm choosing to do that because that's the doctor that I want to be. So it just like hit. And so funny, like I don't want to cry, but this is who I am, and that. I'm really sensitive and I feel so much, and I used to be ashamed of that, but I'm not, because I know that's what makes me really good at my job. So anyway, I had 5 minutes, ran out, sat with my patient across face to face, and I told her, and I was able to give her the news, and she knows me, she trusts me. And even though we had such a short amount of time, it was my choice to do that. And then it just happened to be that day I had another patient who had brain mets, and same thing. Normally I would have just been like, oh, just pick up the phone, find a time and just get her on the phone, and I'll call her and tell her. And who knows if she's driving in traffic or she's got her kids in the car. But this is like our days, right? Like I'm just trying to fit it in. And I was like, nope, I'm going to choose to do that different. So I called my front desk and I said, call this patient, schedule a video visit at this time. And it was like, again, like a little 5-minute break, and tell her, that I want to have a conversation with her. So then it preps her that the doctor wants to talk to her and she's not driving or, with her kids,
right,
or whatever. And so I was able to tell her, and she had her husband with her. And it's like, these probably seem like little things, but this is in medicine. We don't have the luxury of doing everything, with these like nice time scales. And so for me that day, I was like, I am in control and I do get to choose how I do this job. So for me, it just like clicked on that day. And then it's just become, for me, it's like everything is choice. How I show up in every minute is my choice. And through TCP, I show up really differently in every minute.